Let's shift gears now to one of our top stories today. South Africa's coast may have major untapped energy reserves. That news emerging after the oil giant Total discovered pockets of natural gas near Mossel Bay. Let's get the latest now, or another insight from Anil Kramer. Now, he represents the SA Oil and Gas Alliance, and he joins us now via Skype. Now, Niall, for many of us plebs, we're trying to figure out exactly what this means, because from how the story has unfolded, we're told that a few years ago Total was drilling for oil, but now they've found gas. Would that have been a surprise to them, or would they have known what they were looking for?
That's often the case when you're drilling. You're never really sure if it's oil or gas. You have an idea of what you're going for, but in this case, it's extremely positive news. Many, including myself, were saying over the past months, we need to wait until there's some concrete evidence before talking this up. And we do now seem to have some concrete evidence from Total, and it's very, very positive.
Now, according to a piece that I've just pulled off Reuters that was written a couple of weeks ago, they say there that more than 300 offshore wells have been drilled in South Africa over the past 50 years, but the key is that it's been in relatively shallow seas. Now, this find has been done in the deep sea. Could this be a new precedent set for exploration of the shore of South Africa?
I think it is. I think this is, people have been talking about the prospectivity of deep water drilling off South Africa for quite a while. The challenge has been the ocean conditions, what they call met-ocean conditions. That's the ocean swells, the currents, and this is very, very deep drilling. They're drilling, in this case, in 3.5 kilometers depth. And when you imagine that's in a strong current and the winds are going one way, the currents might be going another way. They had started this drill quite a few years, I think about 3 years ago, and they then pulled out on the basis of the met-ocean conditions. And it's been quite a while, 3 years, but they came back with a very, very sophisticated, what's called a drill ship, not a rig. So they drilled for 90 days, I understand. But, the issue here is it might be technologically exciting, and of course it is, but the real story, I think, is the potential impact that this could have on the South African economy. You indicated that we have obviously needs around energy, but it's not only the energy needs, it's the replacement of forex. If you look at crude is typically one of the biggest items that the country spends dollars on. It's the impact on the services industry, which we represent, and we've been talking for quite a while about what do we need to do to get ready in terms of skills and business capacity to participate. And correctly, people have been a little cautious to say we need to wait until something is more concrete. Well, now we have something that is more concrete. And a super major like Total, having done this and announcing that there are potentially another 3 or 4 drills flowing from this and some more seismic work, is very, very positive. If I may, I'd like to give you an example of the kind of impact that economic impact that oil and gas can have. Off the Southern Cape, the Petros A field has been running on 1 TCF, 1 trillion cubic feet of gas. Mozambique have found 190 trillion cubic feet. And the impact that has had and is having over the next 5 years on the Mozambican economy is something like $50 billion of foreign investment. And that really is catalytic. That sort of investment is game-changing. Now, obviously, we're going to need to wait and see and get a more precise measure on what the scale is here, but it certainly is moving in the right direction.
Now, obviously, this is the beginning stages of what sounds like a massive project going forward. A first question, of course, from many will be the environmental impact. I was speaking to an expert from PwC earlier, and he says there'd be very strict measures around the environmental management plan going forward. And I suppose that will all be part and parcel of how Total and its partners in that area go about figuring out what kind of reserve they're dealing with, how deep it is, and what the quality of it is.
Absolutely. And, you know, the super majors typically are very sensitive to this, and they have very sophisticated risk mitigation, risk measurement, risk assessment tools, and they have to do impact assessments ahead of every drill to say, you know, what could the impact be on, for example, on fish or on pollution in the ocean or on any number of things, and then they have to produce mitigating actions for that, and that's standard. And I think this is something that South Africa will come to appreciate over time, is that the focus and the diligence in this kind of operation, especially when it comes to safety, is far greater than what South Africa is typically used to. Okay is far from good enough.
We're going to leave it there for now. The Total discovery, a major story here in South Africa. We're in conversation there with this SA Oil and Gas Alliance's Niall Kramer, giving us some insight from their side as well.